Exodus 22:22. You shall not afflict any widow or fatherless child. If you afflict them in any way, and they cry out at all to me, I will surely hear their cry, and my wrath will be hot.
Well, we're going to do something a little different here as I get away from my series where I've been talking about America being founded not as a Christian nation. And I wanted to share something with you from Candace Owens. I'm not a fan of hers, but as of late, she's been on a nice little roll here on some certain things and speaking some truths on some things, even though she's still, to me, way out there a lot. But this is really funny how she went in about this conference, showing a clip from this conference, counting the times that this woman is up here quoting Bible scripture saying widow. And I guess she's defending Erica Kirk in some kind of way. I mean, we're not making mockery of her being a widow or anything on this particular channel or so, but I just think the point, I want you to hear the point that I'm going to make after you see this clip. So watch it and you'll chuckle. Well, let's watch this.
Exodus 22:22. You shall not afflict any widow or fatherless child. If you afflict them in any way, and they cry out at all to me, I will surely hear their cry, and my wrath will be hot. Deuteronomy 27:18. Cursed is the one who perverts the justice due, the stranger, the fatherless, and the widow. Isaiah 1:17. Learn to do good, seek justice, rebuke the oppression, defend the fatherless, plead for the widow. Jeremiah 22:3. Do no wrong and do no violence to a stranger, the fatherless, or the widow.
The widow.
Malachi,
the widow.
5. I will come to you. I will come near you for judgment. I will be a swift witness against sorcerers and against those who exploit the wage earners and oppress the widow and the fatherless. 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 3. Honor widows. James chapter 1, verse 27. Pure and undefiled religion
Lord of the
before
Rings
God
clip.
and the
The
Father
Queen.
is to visit orphans and widows in their trouble. Our Lord God defines himself as a, quote, father to the fatherless and a defender of widows.
Widows. Widows. Widows. The widow. You shall honor the widow. You shall worship the widow. I'm going to keep telling you, the widow. And you will see we are biblical here. This is just...
Widow. You know, she's out here that's throwing out the Bible verses. And that's what I was just thinking about. These, I've been saying it. Those of you that's been following me, these TPUSA events, reawakening events, all of these events ain't nothing but a bunch of people gathering together for hate. That's all it is. They're hate groups. They're nothing but a modern day hate group. And they set up there and they want to throw the Bible and Bible bash everybody. And they want to wish death on everybody, as we talk about. You know, you get some of these loonies that get in here, Roseanne Barr, as I've shown you this clip before.
Stalinist, communists, with a huge helping of Nazi fascists thrown in, plus wanting a caliphate. To replace every Christian democracy on earth now occupied. Do you know that?
And you see that? And look at these cast of characters. And now look, Candace Owens has been on these platforms before she had this falling out. So look at this cast of characters. False teachers mixed in there. You know, Mike Lindell's. I mean, all of these people are to get together to push a whole lot of conspiracy theories, a whole lot of lies, a whole lot of hate. And the fact that they put Steve Bannon's in there, and many of you that, some of you may be new. You may have never seen the Steve Bannon clip at one of these events. Let me show you so you can see. These ain't nothing but hate groups. That's all they are. Take a look.
Drive the vermin out of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Biden, you and your crime family are nothing but trash. For Joe Biden and Dr. Joe Biden and Hunter Biden, all in the Biden, they're a bunch of feral dogs, right? It's a family of feral dogs. We're going to have to fumigate the lies of Joe Biden, the treason of Joe Biden, and how enfeebled he is. After that, it's not the tapes. We're coming after Lisa Monaco, Merrick Garland, the senior members of DOJ that have prosecuted President Trump, Jack Smith. That's where you come in. You're the vanguard of this revolution. We're going to do what the Romans did to Carthage. We're going to salt the earth around it so there'll never be another building there again. We're going to rebuild something else. There'll be something that comes up and is rebuilt along the lines that's appropriate. We've got to go back to the beginning. We've got to go back to Russiagate. We got to go back to who did that. We got to go back to Mueller's commission. We got to go back to Andrew Weissman and MSNBC and the New York Times and all of it. Right? Every FBI agent, all the CIA, DHS, Chris Wray, all of them. It's going to be a new day. And MAGA will run things. They're going to know that MAGA is not only ascendant, MAGA is in charge. It's very simple. Victory or death.
Hate groups talking like that. I mean, they want a hostile takeover in society with their brand of Christianity. And guess what? Their brand of Christianity ain't the Jesus in the God, the Jesus that we know that's been around for centuries. It's a different Jesus. They didn't came and take Jesus and they've transformed him into something else. And they've made him out to be some right-wing, far radical politician in some kind of way. That's what they've done. And then you have politicians that think that they're part of the crew. People like Ramaswamy, people, that people of color think that they're part of this movement. They really do. But when you really, let's have this honest conversation here. When you really, really look at it, look at Tim Scott. This guy's been in the Senate for years, got plenty of experience. And guess what? He has no position in this administration. You notice that? None. After sucking up, doing all of that, you got the Byron Donalds, you got all of these people. You only can go to a certain point, and that's it. And so they sucking up, and Vivek Ramaswamy has found out that he thinks that he's the good old boy with these people. And I don't know if many of you seen this clip of this false pastor, Joel Webbin or so, talking about him going back to his country. And let me play it for you so you can see it.
It matters that every president we've ever had, not that they truly are Christian, but they all at least had to pay credence. They all had to tip the hat. They all, in their rhetoric, had to be a true regenerate Christian. No, but they all had to at least profess it. Do you really want to open Pandora's box? Because it won't be a one-time scenario. You get someone like Vivek, and this is what I was arguing 2 years ago during the presidential election. I was like, you get Vivek. You've just opened the door for Hindus, for an Indian scammer Hindu. And at that point on, it's a whole new ballgame. No one has to tip the hat to the Christian faith. No one has to placate to Christians in America. You should have to placate to Christians in America if you want to be a leader in America, right? This would change everything. Same thing with a woman president. I said it back with Hillary. I was like, look, Trump is way better than Hillary on all the moral issues. But even if he wasn't, if Trump was slightly worse than Hillary on some big moral issues, simply by virtue of him being a man, he would have my vote. Why? Because again, it would be Pandora's box. It would be the first woman president, setting a new precedent for all of time that, in terms of laws of average, maybe the first woman, maybe they're exceptional. But now we're going to have women presidents for the next 250 years because we opened the door. We're going to have not just one of them, but dozens of them. And on average, the dozens of female presidents versus the dozens of male presidents, those female presidents will be objectively worse. Those Hindu presidents will be objectively worse. So all that back to Vivek, not only will he scam Ohioans, not only will he flood them with H-1B visas and rob them of their inheritance and their wealth, but if he becomes the governor of Ohio, you have solidified Vivek's political career for the rest of his life in America. He's not going away.
Exactly.
This is the chance to say, no, never, ever go back home. Get out of our country. You were born in America, sure, by days. Your dad hates our country, never took the time to become a citizen. You're an anchor baby. Your family built their wealth by robbing white people with miracle drugs that you knew were not going to be viable. You became a billionaire. You paid your way onto every podcast. You've been lying. You've been deceiving. And this is not American. You are not American. You are a Hindu. You are a polytheist. You are a false idol worshiper. Go home. Get out of our country. I don't care about you quoting Thomas Jefferson. I don't care about you pretending to honor the founders. This is America. We wear shoes in this country. We eat beef in this country. We worship Christ exclusively in this country. We don't rob people of their wealth in this country. Get the hell out. That's the proper response.
Told them to get out of here. That's the mindset. They don't, these people, this is not, folks, the loving Jesus that sat with the sinners, that went and met people where they are in their suffering and all of that. These people, they want you to suffer. Listen, many of you may not, some of you may have already seen this too as we stay on Vivek. But let's look at Ann Coulter as she tells him right to his face, I wouldn't have voted for you because you're an Indian. Take a look.
I, too, am a fan of yours. I'm going to make a point of disagreeing with you so that it will be fun. You are so bright and articulate, and I guess I can call you articulate since you're not an American black. Can't say that about them. That's derogatory. And that was a great opening segment. Lots of things to talk about there. Oh, and I agreed with many, many things you said during, in fact, probably more than most other candidates when you were running for president. But I still would not have voted for you because you're an Indian. We'll get back to that.
And you see that? Right to his face. He was smiling. He thought it was funny when she said something about the blacks prior to, being offended or so. And he thought it was all grinning and grinning. And then she tells him, I wouldn't vote for you because you're an Indian. See, these people, they want to act like that this nation, that they pushing a loving message, but they're always in the Old Testament. If you notice that, always in the Old Testament law, want the harshest penalties on everybody that's not of a certain color, not of a certain women. If you're trans, if you battling with sin of any sort, that's what they want. They have a different Jesus. This is not the Jesus that's in the Bible. That we should be the Beatitudes, the loving kind Jesus, the one that suffered and died for us. They make like Jesus only suffered and died for them. And that's all they want. And they're trying to tell you, come on board. Come on board with us. You know, we want the world and society to be like us. But it's all a sham. Because many of these events, they coming out is nothing but about money, greed. They're up to no good. And their hearts are dark. And, you know, on this channel, we expose stuff like this. We continue to talk about it. Talk about the issues the church run away from. Tackle Satan and his tactics. Punch him right in between the chops. My name is Maurice Braxton. Until the next video, take care and continue to hang in there. Fight the good fight. Until the next video, my friends, take care. God bless.